Hey folks, I'm at Fisherman's Supply in Point Pleasant Beach, New Jersey with Gary Ward.
Hey, how you doing?
And we're getting out on the water tomorrow. You got your demo 403 here.
Oh yeah.
And you're gonna have yours on your Outback tomorrow.
Yes.
As well. So,
yep.
But
we're gonna rock out the. Hopefully, we'll get out the inlet just as the sun comes up. There's been 30 and 40 pound stripers just out the inlet, and they're on bunker and sand deals right now. So we'll see what happens.
Cool.
I mean, it could be epic or it could be a bust, but it's been pretty consistent right now.
Nice. Let's talk a little bit about rigging and bait choices for we're early November in central New Jersey on the shore.
Right now we have the last of the mullet heading out. We have rainfish and spearing still around. The main forage that you're gonna find right now are sand eels and bunker, like up and down the coast. All up and down the coast right now. You're gonna find the big schools of bunker. We have a lot of whales out front right now. There's just a plethora of different species cruising up. The big thing is the bluefin. So you'll see guys out tomorrow. There'll be bluefin fishing out there. The bluefin come up, they bust. They're chasing the sand eels. They're chasing the bunker, and they're on top. The stripers tend to stay down underneath and a little bit tighter shore. Those guys will be out at like 2 miles, 3 miles. The stripers hopefully will find right outside the inlet. All right, so we've grabbed a couple baits off of the walls here, and if you're just getting into striper fishing, you're just starting, you're just looking to get out, and you have a kayak and you're getting offshore, and you're able to go out through an inlet or surf launch or anything like that, these are just some basics. I have some stuff set up here strictly for live bait fishing, and then for jigging or trolling.
All right.
So right off the get-go, you have a popper. If the fish are on top, you always want a popper. This is Tsunami talking popper. It's a 7-inch popper, bunker color. I generally only use 2 colors. I use the bunker and I use the bone in the 7-inch. They cast a mile. The hooks that come on it stock are good hooks. They're VMC 4x strong hooks, so you don't really have to replace them. You can if you're getting into 40 and 50s, but for normal size striped bass this time of year, you should be fine with them. For trolling, any type of like Uzuri, Daiwa SP minnows, any kind of Rebel or whatever you got. Any kind of imitation that you can have that'll mimic a bunker, mimic a sand eel, mimic a mullet. That's gonna draw strikes. That's gonna draw in fish and get you bites. Another type of bait, when the bunker come up to the surface and the bass are not willing to commit to the top water and the poppers, what you turn around and do is you throw a stick bait. Sabile stick baits. It sinks. It's a slow sink. So when it hits the water, you give it about 10 to 15 second count, and then I'll start giving it nice twitches. Twitch, pause, twitch, pause, twitch, pause, and wait for the bait just to get that nice erratic side-to-side action going. You don't want to work it fast. The tendency in those big schools is to rip it fast, rip it fast, rip it fast. You want your bait to stand out, but you also want your bait to look like it's dying in that school, so it looks like it's an easy meal for that striper. So when it comes up and it takes this bait, you get a better chance on hooking up working it slower than you would faster, especially with a striped bass, because the way their mouth pulls, you can pull the hooks out real easy. Moving from hard baits to soft baits. I didn't grab a bunch of soft baits because you don't need a bunch of soft baits. I use Z-Man. Z-Man hold up against bluefish, hold up against all different fish that have teeth. So while we're out fishing tomorrow, we might run into bluefish, and while using these, you're not going to have to worry about getting bit off. If you get hit by a bluefish and you don't hook up, you can drop it right back down and still keep on fishing it. The reason I have 3 different colors is because the chartreuse I use when the water is dark and cloudy, like muddy water. The smoke shad I'll use in clear water or cleaner water. And then the purple I also use in darker, dingier water, but I also use it at night. I mean, 1 pack. You get 3 baits in here, and these 3 baits are going to last you 2-3 trips. And that's actively catching fish. So you don't have to worry about anything like that. We're pairing that up with the 2-ounce headlock Z's, and these are 2 ounce. And what I'll do is when I feed them on is I put a little bit of super glue on top, just for that extra bit of security to know that the bait's not going to slide down. Even though with the design of this jig head, they generally don't pull down the bait like on other jig heads, because the way the Elastec is when it stretches, it thins and it tightens down that grip around the neck here. As a traditional neck would be all the way up top and attached, this one's separated and down the shank a little bit, and it gives that bite that these baits need. But you got the 2 ounce 8/0 hook. We're going to be dropping those down on schools tomorrow. So we slide down, and now we have really simple setups for live bait fishing. First, you're going to need a snag hook. The snag hook is to snag the bunker, the menhaden that are on the surface. You snag the bunker, I reel the bunker in. Now people do the snag and drop, where they actually just use this hook to snag the bunker. They let the treble hook and the fish free swim back down into the school. The striper will eat the bunker. They set the hook. This does more damage to those big fish than taking the time to reel this up, take the bait off of that, and to put on a 10/0 octopus hook, single hook. This way it'll save that fish if the fish does take it deep. How I rig that is I take a 3-way swivel and about 3 foot a leader, 50-pound mono. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. It can be regular 50-pound mono. Tie about a 3 foot leader from this down to the hook, and I snell the hooks. I just think it looks cleaner, and when it comes to the presentation of the bait, I actually do think it helps. After you attach the main line, I'll take, depending on the current and the wind, 2 to 3 ounces, and I send that bait down, and now I have a rig that I can drop right down on top of a school of stripers, or I actually troll this rig. And what I'll do is I'll hook the bait. I take the hook, open the bunker mouth, come through the mouth, up through the nostril, and send it back down. This way the bunker can swim with its mouth open and breathe the entire time that I'm trolling it, and it doesn't die. So as you're trolling, when you feel the bite, kick your reel in the free spool, give it about a 10-second count, lock it up, reel down, set the hook. 9 times out of 10, this hook is going to land in the corner of the mouth. Not down the throat, not in the crushers, right in the corner of the mouth. And that's the kind of hookup you're looking for to save, save a 35, 40-pound striper. You don't want them having 3 treble hooks jammed down their throat in their gullet. They're not going to pass this. This is going to be hard for them to pass. More than likely, they're going to end up dying from that. So that's just real quick, down and dirty on what you need just to get into a quick day of striper fishing here on the Jersey Shore. I mean, you don't really need a ton of things. You can come out with a couple poppers, a plug, a stick bait, a few plastics, and some gear just to live line if you have the opportunity to live line. And that covers basically everything you need.
All right, we've had a nice breakfast, and we're launching. So right out in front of Fisherman's Supply. If somebody else comes here to visit the shop, can they launch there as well? No.
Unfortunately, no. But if you go right down the street,
Yeah.
there's a public launch there.
Yeah.
And directly across on the Manasquan side, that's
Right.
a launch right over there, that dog beach.
Okay. So plenty of launches right here.
Huh?
Plenty of launches right here.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's some further down in the back of the river, so there's plenty to go around.
Nice. Your rig, the Outback with the 403 AC.
Yep.
You're getting 5.5. If you dial it in right, it's 5.5 mile an hour.
Oh
top
yeah.
speed.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that right sweet spot you said for the for that rudder.
Yep.
And I want to say this feels like it.
So you have it for now in that locked position.
Yes.
Steering triangle in the locked position, and You're using the rudder to steer. How's that doing for you?
It's actually fine. There's nothing wrong with it at all.
Yeah.
Eventually, I'm having a piece fabricated to put on the back, so
Okay.
it'll be a little different. But right now, we're looking at a beautiful sunrise.
Who's the statue?
This is the fisherman's statue. It's dedicated to commercial guys that have lost their lives years out there fishing stuff.
So a statue to fishermen.
Yeah.
Nice. So our current wind conditions and tide, what are we looking at?
We're looking at a west-northwest at anywhere from 10 to about 12 miles an hour today.
Okay.
It's going to switch to northwest for a little bit and then kick back to west-northwest. But after about 11 a.m., it's going to start to drop steadily. You know, to where we're going to see winds later on this afternoon of like 7-8 miles an hour.
Nice.
Which will be nice.
What are you rigging up?
Little Z-Man. Drop her down.
So when it's the wrong wind direction, and
yeah,
what does that look like out here where we're approaching the opening?
it's just gnarly up here. There'll be some big rollers coming through.
Yeah.
You'll see like 6-7 foot rollers coming in the front of this thing.
Wow. Nothing like that today.
No, today's actually beautiful. We're going to turn the corner. We got some boats already set up out there. This is right in the area they had them the other day. So,
Okay.
hopefully they're still here. We'll be able to graph them. And we'll go from there. So, hopefully with all that said, we can stay away from these guys over here. And everybody can have a good day.
Yeah. Turn into it. We're out here. I guess he already had his treble hook set up, but I gotta, yeah, I'm supposed to just catch it. I guess I caught it. So we're snagging the bunker, and I'm gonna take this swim bait off and put the 3-way swivel on there, and a little bit of a leader, and then these hooks. That's the one he snagged. All right, it took me a minute to get rigged up, but I got the 3-way swivel and that big old hook. And I said last night when we went over this that we go in through the nose, or in through the mouth and like out through a nostril. Let me try that. Yep, that works pretty good. Just like that. Alright, and then he said it trolls, puts it down there. Let's see what happens there. We're out over 53 feet of water. We have been over schools of them, but I'm not seeing anything right now.
Like big fish.
Alright, first fish in. You got him on what? The diamond jig?
Getting them on an Ava 47. If we had smaller ones, it'd work too. Any kind of small salt plastic, anything like that. I mean, they're littered all over the bottom right now. I mean, absolutely littered. You can see them. I'm just getting the jig down on the bottom. I'm lifting it up and letting it fall back down on them. Oh!
jig. It's got a little green soft plastic, or not even, it's surgical tubing on the hook itself, and he thinks that's what they're weak fish. They're trout. He thinks that's what they're snapping at. So I'm using my tracks to get back over the big school that you saw. But it's a lot of fish in one spot. Hey, it's a little blue. It's a tiny little blue. Alright, we left the weak fish alone. We got bunker that he just snagged. We're gonna.
There's gotta be fish underneath that.
Let that down. Move over these fish. You let it all the way to the bottom?
Yeah, I put that one down. Heavy, but it feels like you want to snag them sideways. You see it, that's head shakes. I was just down from one of these slick areas where all the bait fish were. I'm curious to see what I got here. But it was on one of the pop it and drop it's. It's a shark. And it's snagged. Wasn't even a legitimate, you know. Alright, well, it's something. Hello, Sharky. Dogfish?
Yes, sir, it is.
Alright. Here we go. Alright.
They don't really have any teeth, so you don't have to worry.
Alright, well, that's something. See you guys.
Stop.
look like catfish. Catfish do that.
I'm sure they taste like catfish too.
What'd you say, Gordon's fish sticks?
Pretty much, yeah. Gordon's fish sticks. Any of your fish sticks are pretty much made of your smooth and spinies.
Yeah.
And that's spiny. If you look on the back dorsal right by your hand,
Yeah.
you see that there's a
Spike?
giant fin.
That
And that
spike?
thing has got poison loaded in it.
Huh. Yuck.
Just don't get it jammed in your finger.
Yeah. I had I'm gonna let it go. I was, as a teenager, and there was a gentleman who was, sustenance fishing down from us, and we kept giving him our, whatever we caught. I mean, just channel cats, river catfish.
Yeah.
And, we were out there all night, and we filled up his bucket, and, he's catching them too, but before too long, I gave him, and I just bring him to him hooked, and he'd come over and he'd unhook them, and just chuck them in the bucket, and be happy. And but he threw one in the bucket, and it started flipping out. It's the middle of the night. I mean, it's dark, and he just goes for it. He just puts his hands like, stop, like, get back in the bucket. And that catfish spine, its pectoral fin spine, goes straight through his hand, is poking out the other side. And I'm like, I'm gonna try and help you by getting this out. And Gary, I'm telling you, I yanked on it 3 times before it ripped through. And I'm like, we gotta get you to the hospital, man. And he's like, no, don't have health insurance, not going. His hand swelled up like that thick. I mean, just quick. It was awful. So it gave me a healthy respect for not messing with those spines. And,
Yeah. A lot of the fish out here have spines.
yeah.
You'll see it from sea robins and what doesn't have a fluke don't have spines.
Right. Yeah, they got big and flat and hiding.
I can't really. I mean, bluefish don't. Well, bluefish have little dorsals on the top, but they got razor sharp teeth like piranha.
Right.
Stripers have dorsals on the top.
Yeah. Those things are spiny.
Pelagics, they don't really have anything. They just go.
Right.
They're flying at
They have speed.
70 miles an hour.
Yep.
Last year we were catching them right here. Right out, as soon as you broke the inlet,
Yeah.
we were catching all the albies and bonita right here.
Nice. How many you got today?
Huh?
How many dogfish?
I feel like enough. It's so funny, they're so willing to come right up to the surface, but as soon as you let them go, they go straight back down.
Yeah.
They'll chase your bait all the way up. But as soon as you let them go, the first place they go is like down for a minute. Had to get another bait.
So we came inside from out front, looking for, maybe we can find some striper in the back. He's giving me a Z-Man. What is it? A Streaks?
No, that's their jerk dad.
Yeah.
Like their split tail, kind of like their finesse. But I would use the 7-inch, 3/4 ounce, 1 ounce, 1.5 ounce jig heads.
So we'll do some jigging up here. I guess at some bridges or wherever we have good current breaks. We're gonna give it a try. See what happens.
Yeah, we should hopefully find 1 or 2. I'm hoping.
Yep.
It's been a dogfish kind of day.
It's been a dogfish day. I had fun with them.
They're fun.
I was so excited to catch those when I was a kid. It's like, I caught a shark. All right. Maybe we're finally hooked up with a striper. Nice fish. I guess it pays to come in a little bit. Alright. You're coming in, up and in. Striper. Alright, that's fun. On the bubblegum Z-Man Streaks or whatever it is.
I think it's a Streak Z.
Streak Z! Sweet. See you, fishy.
It's a decent fish.
Yeah?
Yeah.
On the pink
Yep.
streaks.
Yep. Oh, he swiped at it. Yeah.
Alright.
Little guy.
Nice, man.
All right, let's get more. Yeah. Tangled.
Nice fish, man.
Oh yeah.
Another striper. Nice, healthy, maybe 20, 23, 24 incher. We're just getting ready to let her go home.
Nice.
All right, it's been a fun day out here. Gary,
Oh,
I
yeah.
appreciate, always have fun when I come up here and fish with you. Thank you very much.
Always a good time.
We did finally get into some striper late in the day. Had our fun with the dogfish.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It was cool to learn how to, snag your own bunker, live line it, put it out there, and I can see how that would definitely work. So
Oh yeah. We usually have some better luck, but today was a little tougher than anticipated. But
well, that's just it. I mean, you have, the waves of fish coming through, and I know that you have your finger on the pulse of, where those fish are in their migration, and some
Yeah.
spots further north where they have yet to come
yep.
into November. You'll get into some bigger ones here. So
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'll definitely
definitely swing by the shop, swing by Fisherman's Supply in Point Pleasant Beach, New Jersey, and say hi to Gary, and he'll give you good advice.
Absolutely.
See you guys.
Take it easy.
Keeping it real close to the bottom. I jumped up from the size streaks that Gary gave me. I got one that's a little bit bigger in size. Oh, just get up in here. I don't know that it's necessarily a bigger fish, but I'm trying a bigger bait to think, hey, maybe. This is, Gary, this is the one I was telling you that glows. I fish these wintertime very deep, and I'll actually stick them in front of the depth finder monitor. It'll light them up, and when you're fishing at night, I think it makes a difference. I mean, I've caught, my biggest was 45.5 on one that I made that glows. That's just one of the colors that Z-Man offers, is a glow color. So let it get to the bottom, quick little snaps, let it, just the feeling of it drifting and then thumping on the bottom is what you need to focus on. Somewhere as it pendulum swings before it hits the bottom, you feel that chunk, that real crisp crunch. Not big sweeps, just little hops, pop, real crisp. Pulling a little drag. coming. Not a real long one, but he's fatty. Chunker.